to develop both of their physical and mental health. On the other hand, when our ecological awareness or knowledge on environment is improved, it obviously improves our green personality that makes us responsible about our behavior, develop both of their physical and mental health. So the other hand, socialization that enables this process knowledge really important is improved. These kind of activities can be defined as contribution that makes to the green socialization about our behavior. In some physical therapies we've identified. So the other hand, socialization that environmental process knowledge really important. Mental well-being of a person was something defined as a contribution that it means plant therapy has a positive impact on anxiety and can improve overall mental health and physical wellness as well. So it is obvious that this awareness program is not just a contribution to the existing knowledge, but also a pragmatic contribution in terms of improving children's cognition. Before the program, the few herbs that children can find from their garden were only identified as herbs by them. At the first brainstorming session, they were focused to a task to draw the herbs that they have already known, and it was able to observe that all of them have identified same plants as herbs while not aware in its real medical use. At the second activity, we were introduced importance of said plants and few other herbs that they can easily found from their garden as well. It was a kind of a participatory activity. Therefore, through the first and second activities, we were able to identify the gaps of their knowledge on herbs, and we were mediated with our knowledge on herbs to a certain extent. Since the study community is an institutionalized one, they are not allowed to move with outsider communities, and it obviously set aside them from community level knowledge. So we made an attempt to bring societal or outsider knowledge on herbs through bringing few herbs and made them to be planted, those herbs, while educating them on medical use of those plants. As literature shows, high level of environmental awareness inculcates and promotes environmental friendly behavior among people. Through this last activity, we have endowed the responsibility of taking care of their plants to these children. Therefore, it was a kind of a motivation to deal with environment with knowing its real values. It was truly a motivation as we were able to observe their keenness to engage in that planting activity. And also it was a collective activity. It also improves the collectivity to a certain extent. Moving to the conclusion of the study, the action research was able to make children aware about valuable herbs and the real medical use of those herbs. It was thoroughly tempts them to behave with environmental responsibility in their all activities. Since institutionalized children are experiencing social exclusion because of the institutionalization itself, this program was a kind of an inclusive initiative. The feedbacks of the children shows that they were able to learn to deal with the environment and to protect the environment, including valuable herbs. Consequently, the present study was not just a knowledge gathering session but also a pragmatic initiative that was able to make change within the study population. So it can be said that this program obviously impacted on their green personality development, which helps them to develop themselves. These are the references, and thank you for listening. If you have any question, you can ask now.
And pre-preparation. Methodology adopted for this study is an action research, a tailor-made IS intervention including 3 cycles were discharged during a period of 4 weeks and there were 12 lessons in it. The participants were 31 ESL learners from an international school aged 15 to 16. Their proficiency level was intermediate. The experts were the independent observer and the teacher researcher who observed the performances of the learners and allotted a mark. Also, the learner self-evaluations and learner self-reflections were taken into account when collecting data. Evaluation criteria included delivery, clarity, introduction, content, and ending of a speech being assessed via a Likert scale 1 to 5, 1 being the weakest and 5 being the strongest. At Circle 1, you see at the early stage, the students rated themselves highly except for ending. They thought at the outset they delivered the speech effectively. However, the self-reflections indicate they were anxious. The self-reflections say, I forgot the points, I forgot to tell the ending. All these are reflections of physical and mental manifestations of anxiety. We say that there was sweating and the inability to come in front and speak, and those were the statements written by the comments written by the learners. And when we examine the learner diaries, we see the negative comments 108, which is a 44%, versus the positive comments 140, a 56%. This suggests a lack of confidence in the learners during cycle 1. In contrast to cycle 1, learner self-evaluations in 3 aspects, delivery, content, and ending, have declined, suggesting that as they became aware of the complexities in delivering a speech, they have realized that they are not as good as they thought they were in cycle 1. However, in clarity and introduction, their self-estimation has gone up. Let us look at the diary entries made during this period. Still nervous, but gaining confidence, high heart rate, but happy with the way they ended the speech. Also, crucially, learner 30 has become aware that he has become more confident in delivering the speech, also indication of gaining confidence. Looking at the positive comments, which is 169, 86% that is, and the negative comments were 78, that was 32%, indicates an increase in confidence. Interestingly, in the last cycle, the self-evaluation in all aspects have come down, suggesting that learners are now more self-critical, perhaps as consequences of becoming aware of the different aspects that they have to keep in mind when delivering an effective speech. And also, if we look at the individual components from cycle 1, learners were least sure about how to end the speech, more so than making the introduction or the other aspects. However, by cycle 3, we see the self-evaluations show that they have now become more sure of themselves. They have learned how to end a speech as well. Looking at the self-reflection, it confirms that the learners have learned how to make a good speech with a good beginning and a good ending as well. They are more confident, less anxious, and less tongue-tied. I know how to find words, how to organize. These are words of confidence. Also, self-critical in that they know how they have much room for improvement. In cycle one, they thought they knew how to make an effective speech. In fact, towards the end, they have improved, and this is confirmed by the experts' feedback. You can see that expert evaluations have increased from cycle to cycle, reflecting the learner's increasing proficiency in making a speech. On the other hand, the learners themselves have become more critical and self-aware of the areas they lack knowledge in, and their own evaluations have decreased. The increase in the number of positive comments from cycle to cycle, from 44 to 83, and the decrease in negative comments from 56 to 17 suggests a significant increase in the level of confidence. The learner's self-reflections at cycle 3 also indicate an increase in motivation to speak and a reduction in anxiety and being tongue-tied. Learner self-evaluations on all 5 variants have decreased by cycle 3. It can be surmised that with the knowledge of techniques and competence gained, learners have become more self-critical. The marks awarded by the 2 experts confirm this. The expert evaluations increase from cycle to cycle. This is an indication of improvement. The improvement and building up confidence. The learner diaries show progressive gain in confidence, motivation, and a reduction in anxiety, suggesting that impromptu speech can motivate reluctant tongue-tied students to come in front of a small audience and speak a few words. It can be inferred that increase in knowledge and competencies is accompanied by an increase in confidence. In conclusion, this study has demonstrated